we going to go to next? We got so many balls in the air, so many people. I am delighted. We're having a bit of a change up here. I didn't mention this guest earlier, I don't think. I would call him America's leading anti-communist. Now, She Van Fleet will be joining us later, and she's probably a close second. But someone who has studied the doctrine and modernized the vocabulary and helped explain how wokeism is, in fact, cultural Marxism, is our next guest. Dr. James Lindsay, one of our favorite guests on the Ezra Levant Show, joins us now. What a pleasure to see you again, Dr. James. Thanks for joining us on this exciting night.
Yeah, thanks, Ezra. What's up?
Well, you tell me. I'm based up here in the snowy north. It's not quite snowy where I am, but we have reporters in New York City, Washington, D.C., and Florida. And of course, we, like people around the world, are riveted by what we see in America. But you, of course, live there and interact with a lot of activists on the front lines. Why don't you start by giving us sort of a summary of the campaign? I think it's gone remarkably well. But what do I know? I'm up here in Toronto. You tell me.
No, I think it's gone remarkably well. Also, it had an apparently slow start through the summer and the end of the summer, but it's just been kind of a tidal wave ever since. It's been a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of excitement everywhere I go, which I don't know how many states that's been, even Alaska, which, by the way, was snowy. Tons of enthusiasm in Florida, enthusiasm. You name the state, I'm seeing Trump mania basically everywhere. So I'm hoping that reflects in the election tonight, or in the vote turnouts at least.
Now, I talked a little bit about communism because you actually are a philosophical expert in it. Some people throw around that term as an insult, which I think it should be used as an insult from time to time, but it is actually a technical science. Would you agree with this statement that in terms of the actual definition of communism as a political system, as a philosophy, as a legal system, Kamala Harris is a communist? Is that an accurate statement?
Yeah, that's an absolutely accurate statement. Most of her kind of big lines, whether it's about pushing for equity, where she says that we have to aim for equal outcomes, that was some of her stuff that she put out campaigning in 2020. As a matter of fact, it was some of the stuff she put out after she became vice president with Joe Biden. All of these ideas are communist in their orientation. Equity is a program that was called Actual Equality in the Soviet Union. She said very recently in a appearance that you have to stay woke. It doesn't matter if you're going to be, less woke or more woke or woke or woker or wokest. You just need to be more woke, and you need to stay woke. Well, woke is communism. It turns out that her father was a communist. She runs around saying her favorite little tagline, which she kind of stopped saying after we called her out for it and said what it was, which is being able to see what can be unburdened by what has been, which is the exact essence of what Karl Marx said his political program and the political revolutions of the 19th century should look like in his 18th Brumaire of Louis Bonaparte in 1852. And then I just found out today that she actually was involved in a communist organization when she was in college. I think she was involved in actually a communist club at her university. So yeah, the woman's a Marxist. And so Marxism's on the ballot, and hopefully America can vote its way out of communism before it gets its claws all the way in.
Sheila, jump in.
I was just looking at James's X account, and already it seems as though the dirty tricks are starting to roll in. Looks like there's a gas leak at one polling station, and non-citizens on the voter rolls. We have to be very careful because we're currently broadcasting on the censorship platform of YouTube while simultaneously streaming to Rumble, and there are things that we can say over there that we can't say on the other platform. Well, what impact do you think these dirty tricks will have, or are people more attuned to them now?
Well, they will have some impact. You mentioned the gas leak. I believe that's in Michigan. There are all kinds of weird evacuations taking place across Pennsylvania. One of the counties in Pennsylvania, in fact, had its voting extended by 2 hours because of the machines not working right throughout the day. People have been being turned out all day, saying things aren't working, things won't print right, whatever. Come back later, fill out a provisional ballot. We'll take care of it. There are similar problems, bomb threats being called in at various places. Georgia is particularly bad for that, but they've also been in other places. The really remarkable thing to point out about this is that they're only happening in swing states. It's happening in virtually all of the swing states, and it's not happening anywhere else, which is a remarkable coincidence. And that it's been happening since like 7 a.m. this morning is another kind of remarkable, just a remarkable coincidence. So it will have some impact because there will be people who showed up to vote who didn't have time, who had to go back to work, or who gave up and couldn't do what, the true difficult patriotic duty of standing in line longer, making sure that their vote gets counted. And so some of those people will end up having been turned away. On the other hand, it will not have the kind of impact that I think the people might expect that it might, or fear that it might, because it's all being caught. Legal experts, lawyers are intervening. That the courts are intervening. That's why this county in Pennsylvania has longer hours tonight. And so a lot of it's being caught as it's happening, and adjustments are being made, which is a distinct difference from what was going on in 2020, where we were all kind of biting our nails and sipping our bourbon and hoping things were going to work out. There's a lot more people on the ground keeping their eyes open and making sure things are working out today. So I'm hoping that the impact will be not zero, but minimal.
Our friend Harmeet Dillon, one of the most, I think she's a really smart lawyer. She's based in San Francisco. It's got to be tough to be a Republican in San Francisco. I predict she'll become Trump's White House counsel if he becomes president. I know that she has led the charge for voting irregularities I think she's in Arizona tonight. I think there are literally armies of lawyers. They have been threatened, by the way. Every one of them has faced a threat that they would be disbarred and prosecuted the same way Trump's lawyers were. So it takes courage to stand up to the menace. And let me say this, there were at least 3 assassination attempts that we know of. One, the spectacular one that missed Donald Trump by half an inch. A power switch, or I see storm some voting location. Like you're literally willing, up to that as well. And I don't know. I agree with you, Dr. James, that there is a enthusiasm and a momentum out there. The question that I have been thinking about for weeks is it larger than the margin of cheating, than the margin of lawyer? And what do you think about that? It's a little early to say, but do you think that the enthusiasm will overcome the cheat factor?
Well, that's the question. And so people have been asking me my election prediction for, for months, but actually kind of poignantly for the last week or so. And even today, I said the same exact prediction. I am mostly confident that an election will still take place. I'm not 100%. I think it's almost done in Eastern time, but I'm still not 100% certain on that. So I don't make any guesses about what the outcome are going to be. What I can say for certain is that you have characterized the question correctly. And I can say also for certain that I have never seen this kind of enthusiasm for a political candidate in my life. I have never seen the lines at the voting locations, the polling locations have been insane, at least here, even in Tennessee, which is virtually guaranteed to go to Donald Trump by a wide margin. Every day from the first day of early voting, you would wait anywhere between an hour and a half and 3 hours just to be able to get in the door pretty much every single day. I've never seen turnout like this. And that enthusiasm has translated into today as we're seeing pictures from all over the United States, people showing up to vote in person on election day, even despite these challenges, and people standing in line for hours and hours and hours amidst these disruptions to cast their vote. And I think we can guess in many cases for Donald Trump. So I think it's possible. I think that, too big to rig or swamp the vote initiatives that the Republicans and conservatives and normal people across the country, former Democrats, people of all stripes, people of all religions, people of all colors, people of all sexualities pouring out to vote for Donald Trump might actually be enough to break the machine.
Wow. Me, Dr. James, I would talk to you for an hour if I could, but we have a tight schedule tonight. We have so many amazing guests on standby. Before we go, what's the best way for people to follow your work? Is it newdiscourses.com? Is that your website?
Yeah, that's the website, and at Conceptual James on social media.
Great. Thanks so much for making us part of your evening, and good luck out there.
Thanks, Ezra.
All right, Dr. James Lindsay. Hey, Sheila, we do have some sponsors. Oh, hi, it's Ezra Levant here in Toronto with an important message because we need your help. Independent journalism in Canada is under attack. Government censors, big tech deplatformers, and the dying legacy media are all working together to maintain exclusive control on the information you receive. They don't want you to hear other voices like ours, and they really don't want you to be informed and to think for yourself. That's why the work we do here at Rebel News is so important. Our on-the-ground reporting, independent news shows, and special content you won't find anywhere else. It's all designed to give you trustworthy information and alternative viewpoints so you can decide for yourself. We don't get government money, and we are not owned by some big global conglomerate. We're funded by people just like you, so please support independent journalism and help us continue our work by subscribing and becoming a Rebel News Plus member today, right here on the page. Go to rebelnewsplus.com. Members get instant access to all of our shows, invitations to exclusive events, and access to our premium content like live event footage and documentaries you won't see anywhere else. Only Rebel News Plus members can join the conversation by participating in the comments section of our new website. That way you can have your say too. More than anything, though, you'll be able to take pride in supporting real, honest journalism, and you'll help our talented team continue to do the work to push back on the establishment. We really can use your help. We need it, in fact. So thank you, and enjoy Rebel News Plus.